All right, big news for foreign tourists wanting to visit India. Those coming in on chartered flights can do so from 15th of October and on regular commercial flights from 15th of November. That also indicates that airline operators will be allowed possibly to have these commercial flights on from the 15th of November. This is big because remember, since COVID-19, all of these visas and tourist visas especially had been suspended, had been cancelled. There have been a number of representations to the Ministry of Home Affairs to open up these tourist visas and allow foreign tourists to come in, which is going to be a big move now. What is going to be the impact? Let's go across to Sabina Chopra, co-founder and COO of Yatra.com, Sankalp Agarwal, co-founder and CEO of TravelTriangle.com, and Ajay Awtaney, founder of LiveFromALounge.com. So welcome to all of you. Sabina, let me begin with your take. Why is this crucial for the tourism sector?
The travel and tourism sector has been a key facilitator of growth all over the world with contribution towards socioeconomic progress, foreign currency earnings, infrastructure development. And we are really thankful to the Ministry of Affairs for this announcement as it opens up the market for growth, creates opportunities across stakeholders. We can expect a spike in demand for various destinations. You see, travel and tourism sector has been picking up in terms of growth with the relaxations, announced across key touch points of travel and initiatives of the government. The growth has been slow, but coupled with consumer confidence and health and sanitization protocols, we've seen it picking up. We can expect a similar spike and hike in demand in terms of growth once the foreign tourists are also allowed to visit. Starting 15th October, this is really, really good news. We can expect our hotels and our growth to happen. There will be a similar spike in terms of growth and, once the tourists are allowed to visit and footfall is expected to increase. It'll positively impact the sector and put us on the roadmap for growth.
Sankalp, what is the proportion of foreign tourists that you hope to come in? Because think of it this way, that Indians who have had both vaccines are still not able to travel to all parts of the world very easily. We have still got a relatively high number of total infections of COVID-19. Do you expect a lot of foreign tourists to come in?
Do expect, we have to understand from where the state of country was pre-COVID and where it is now, right? So if you see the GDP contribution from travel and tourism was nearly 9.2%, and there were nearly around 10 to 12 million foreign tourist arrivals, which are contributing to almost 50% of that zone, right? So today it is at 4.7% of the GDP contribution. So I think that, it will take steps, and I think even 2.2% contribution to the GDP by arrival of foreign tourists is pretty much possible at this point of time. COVID is here to stay, but I am seeing that across the world people are now open to travel, and who have taken vaccination, who have taken booster shots, right? So for example, US, UK had been the top two among the top three source countries for foreign tourist arrivals in India, right? So the vaccination rate in those countries has been pretty much high. So we would see that, all of these people in all of these countries would be looking forward to visit us. And if you see pre-COVID number, the target to which India was going was pretty much 15% of the GDP from the travel and tourism, right? So the country has taken all those great steps of e-visa to, a lot of infrastructure improvements before 2019. So all of those will also add up to the results. And in my view, all of these things will add up. And of course, there's some pragmatism, but from a 0% to a 2 to 3% of contribution to GDP, something which I expect going forward in in next 1 year.
Yeah, so the contribution of tourism sector, just to clarify, to the GDP in 2019 was, that's pre-COVID, was about 6.9%. So there is a lot of potential, of course, but we have to see where it goes. Ajay Awtaney, I want to talk to you about travelers from UK, because there's a bit of a conundrum here. As Sankalp mentioned, travelers from UK account for quite a large number, fairly large number of travelers or foreign tourists into India. And as per the latest rules, they will have to quarantine for 10 days, no matter what vaccine they've taken and whether they've taken 2 shots. This is being seen as a tit for tat for what UK has said, or the rules they have put in place for those vaccinated in India. How do you think that pans out?
So, in this case, first and foremost, UK remains a big, source market for some Indian markets, such as Goa. Okay. So now that this announcement has been made, I'm sure, I'm hoping back channel conversations are going on between the two countries. But at this point of time, given that, UK charter operators are some of the biggest in source for places like Goa, I would imagine that this will dampen the impact of this new announcement that came just today. But having said that, there's a lot that we still need to find out about this announcement. For instance, India has announced that it will start issuing visas, but India has not announced at this point of time that what vaccine is it open for all? Is it open for only for fully vaccinated travelers? And if we are opening up to all kind of tourists who can perhaps come in with an RT-PCR test, then I believe this is a very dangerous step that we are taking, because then we are opening ourselves to transmission from across the globe again, which could come in at any point of time.
That's absolutely true. We don't know what new variants are out there or simmering right now. So even as we celebrate this for the tourism industry, for employment, for the GDP, for the economy, we have to look at it with a point of caution. Can we ensure stringent rules of RT-PCR tests or quarantines or the right checks so that people don't possibly carry new variants into India? Now, having said that, Sabina, which do you think will be the top destinations for foreign tourists, and what will that do to prices which are already inching up? Remember, revenge travel has also seized a lot of domestic tourists, and there are reports that bookings have gone up quite a bit. So with more competition and more demand coming in from foreign tourists, do you see that impacting rates?
Okay, firstly, I'll just tell you the options, the destinations that will do well. It's 2 parts. I think Rajasthan, Goa, Kerala, hill stations like Gulmarg for winter sports, we're coming across winter. Skiing is extremely popular there, and along with it, Srinagar will go, you land there, and then, you go ahead. So you can expect these destinations to do very well. They've always done well for foreign tourists. And immediately, if I see the spike where the demand will come in, will be these states, and then slowly across the various other destinations that will go through. Because of this, we can also expect a demand in metro state hubs like Delhi, Mumbai, where the flights will land. So, overnight stays. Till now, these hubs haven't done well, where leisure is doing very well with domestic tourism. These particular cities, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, which are the hubs where the flights land, haven't done too well because they are more related to international and to business traveler. But we can expect some demand which will come to these destinations also. Now, when there is demand, the pricing always goes up. It goes hand in hand. If I say demand increases, pricing will follow the same trend. We can expect a price increase in destinations that will be in demand. So prices will go up. They are already pretty high. If I talk about leisure destinations, which are seeing across the country, you've seen Manali, Srinagar, Shimla, all these destinations right now are doing extremely well. Now that winter is coming towards north, you will see Rajasthan doing extremely well. There's demand picking up. So rates across these destinations have gone up. Already with domestic tourism. Now with foreign infrastructure, I can expect that the prices will further go up. You see, wedding used to be, Thailand used to be a very popular destination. Bali, there were a lot of weddings taking place in international destinations, smaller hubs. Now all those weddings are also taking place in these leisure destinations. So not only is it tourism, but it's also the weddings which is coming into tourists. But we can expect a spike in in demand in certain destinations that were not covered by, domestic travelers. Rajasthan interiors going through across, domestic tourists usually do one destination, one city, and then come back. But a foreign tourist will always try and see the whole of Rajasthan. So we can expect the demand to go across that state rather than in a particular point itself. So yes, demand will happen and pricing will, I think, will also, it goes hand in hand. Pricing will also increase, but not to that level, but I think pricing will increase.
Yeah. Sankalp, how do you look at the situation panning out in terms of demand and also in terms of pricing coming in?
So I think Sabina is bang on the prediction of how the macro movements will shape up onto the demand and the supply. There are some more points which I can add up, right? So, for example, I think the COVID in Kerala is going down. So one of the largest destination, which is in the winter season, will come up, right? So that is still pushing the demand to all the other smaller states in the country, right? So that is one. Second is the as India will open up the international tourism, right, from air bubbles to international more relaxed restrictions. I think the similar behavior will also be seen from other countries as well, right? So, for example, there's some news about Thailand also opening up, and so on and so forth. Other countries will also open up. So that demand will also. So a lot of people who are now traveling within India as well, and are responsible for price hike of 4-star, 5-star properties at this point of time were predominantly international travelers. Now they will have more options available on their table to travel across the world as well. So that some of that demand pressure will go away, right? So it will be a moving dynamic price system, and we'll have to keep you have to keep a watch on what's going up and what's going down across the country in terms of pricing. That's how I am seeing it, and
Yeah.
that's how the
So,
things will happen.
all right. So, moral of the story, simply put, moral of the story, if you were planning to travel somewhere during the peak season towards the end of the year, haven't booked yet, you better do it quickly, because there are even more tourists coming in from outside the country now, perhaps vying for those same spots, and rates are likely to go up. Well, good for the tourism sector and all of the lakhs and lakhs of people they employ. That's the important takeaway. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the show today.